fantasyfocus.com production.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 174 of Talking Tottenham. You can follow us on Twitter at TTPodCoys. And for those of you who are fully audio listeners, we are doing a fully immersive Google Maps experience this evening at the tail end of the podcast, which I'm sure will be funny from just an audio standpoint, but we will be using a little bit of Google Maps, zooming in, looking at some things that intrigue us. So just letting everybody know, we are on YouTube. You can search Talking Tottenham Pod. You'll find us on there. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. All the love is very much appreciated. Danny Shakes, how are you doing amongst all the chaos out there?
I'm doing well, Bucks. I'm trying to survive out here. Good to see your mug. Haven't spoken to you in, a week? Feels like a lifetime, Bucks, getting through the whole COVID scenario, but we're back at it. We're back at it, buddy.
Yeah, so
and it's the Papa's John Conference League. Papa
John's Europa Conference League. And we're here for it. We're here for all of it. You're going to be taking the lead. You've done all the necessary research on Arnhem in the Netherlands, as well as Rennes in France. I'm taking over Murska Sobota over there in northeastern Slovenia. I mean, it's a fantastic place, very close to the Hungarian border over there. I've learned a lot about the people there, but I can't wait to share my thoughts on not only the city structure, but some of the odd findings that I found going through that map on Google Maps.
I like it. I dove a little bit more into the history side for Rennes and Arnhem, so we'll go over it, man. I'm excited about that. Yeah.
Just wrong.
Ron? Nah, I think it's Rennes. Rennes?
Don't know so much about that. Just
we'll see.
Wrong. Yeah. All right, folks. We got to start off the jump here.
Right.
International turmoil. We have an international turmoil on us. Not too sure what the hell is going on, but I want to make one point clear about what's happening with Cristiano Romero and Giovanni Lo Celso. I've seen a lot of hatred and a lot of critics on Twitter talking about how these players should be ashamed of themselves. Let's talk about the handlers. Let's talk about the federations for each country. Let's talk about FIFA. Let's talk about protocols, plans, the lack thereof. I can't ever hold this over the player's head. They're trying to qualify for a World Cup. In this window, they were playing Brazil, their arch rivals. And you think for a second that those players getting the call up would not do whatever is necessary to make that trip as long as everything is above board? I don't know what to tell you. I just want to make it clear. I think you agree with me here, Shakes. I can't hold the players accountable for this, aside from the fact that their bodies did leave England and ended up in Brazil. That's the only thing they did wrong.
No, I mean, and that's even questionable to call that wrong. They just wanted to play for their country, Bucks, which every international player, when they get a call up in any country, no matter the pandemic situation or whatever it is, most of them want to go and play and represent their country. So to throw that kind of shade at them, I was surprised, Bucks. I didn't know if it was a lazy take because it's just like they left, or if it's just, you take a look at it as like, well, man, they're leaving the club during this time. It's like, no, man, you got to take a step back. You got to take a look at FIFA trying to jam in this damn schedule. You got to take a look at the Brazilian government, who apparently has some issues, even when it comes to soccer protocol, let alone, COVID protocol. And then you got to look at the Argentinian soccer, association or FA, whatever they call it. They're the ones that got to get that all shit figured out too. The crazy story that I thought was ridiculous, Bucks, was the whole falsifying of documents when you have international players that have huge followings on social media, and then you could put on Sky Sports or some other sort of international TV and notice that they are in England playing in the Premier League and actually playing that Saturday or Sunday that weekend. So to then say that they falsify documents that they probably didn't even fill out themselves or just signed or whatever, that's so outrageous to even go with that type of story. I mean, stuff's going to come all out, but I mean, to act like they're international spies that broke into Brazil to spread COVID is a pretty outrageous accusation by the Brazilian government. What a cluster to actually have it unfold on the field 5 minutes into the match. And I love just the still image of Neymar and Messi, just both hands, in their, head in hand, just like trying to like figure out like what the hell are we supposed to do about this? Just what a dumpster fire. But I got the players back here. Sure. Could they have just said no, we want to play? Fine, but like you got to blame 6 other entities before you even get to them. And again, they were asked to play for their country.
When you're asked to play for your country, you have to step up. I mean, this is what they've tried to ascend to their entire careers, especially when you're a player that is playing in the top leagues in Europe and you're from South America. There's a little bit of substance and a ton of pride for representing your country, not just in the big tournaments, but in that buildup to build continuity, a good team with those players that you'll be lining up with a year from now in the World Cup. So I can't blame the players whatsoever. I do think it's hilarious with the forged documents thing. Like Giovanni Lo Celso pulled up to Brazil and he just showed his McLovin ID.
I like that one.
That was a good meme out there.
Yeah, great meme. Hawaii driver's license.
I don't understand how this was possible. These players are under constant surveillance and constant testing protocols so that they can play week over week. If there's anyone you should welcome into your country with open arms right now, I would say it's a European football player and say, you know what? He's only going to be around these people. You hope so. Let him play. The whole thing, it's a mockery of sport. It's a mockery of justice. This whole thing, it's just insane to me. I remember I was watching that match and it starts, we're good. And then all of a sudden they just stop it and it's pure chaos on the pitch. You couldn't stop it 30 minutes prior. Like, who is that? Who is your spot team that is just rolling into the stadium 5 minutes in? Like,
allegedly got stuck in traffic. That was the story.
It's like they just called a pickup game and the authorities just got word of it. Not that the stadium was littered with police, with medical staff, with probably government officials at that point. And it had been planned at that time and location for weeks. But no, we got to do the whole charade. I'm not blaming the players. I hope they make it back safely. I really hope that they are able to get their quote unquote quarantine time in Croatia so that they can train with Dave, who apparently is sitting over there twiddling his thumbs. I heard that Dave is just sitting on a practice pitch and they pitched a little tent for him. He's got his quarantine tent. It's just one solo tent on a pitch and he's getting delivery, but the delivery comes to the touchline and the touchline is a full width of a field away. So they have a signal. They have whistles that they blow when the deliveries for food and beverage are there. And then Dave simply blows back at them, acknowledging their presence and then heading over to the touchline. That's what I've heard. But I hope they make it out okay.
Well, they're in Argentina now. They're going to make it out okay. I'm trying to stay up to date on it, but I thought they weren't going to play the next match, I believe, against Bolivia or whoever it is. Bolivia. And this could actually benefit Spurs if
actually I think Bolivia was Dave. I'm not sure. I'm not up to date on
it. The match that's coming up still, that because FIFA's trying to jam in like three matches into like 8 days. Great, real healthy for the players. Way to look out. Thanks, FIFA. F off. The way this could benefit Spurs is if they start their quarantine sooner, get back in time, they actually might be able to hit into the Chelsea match at least as a sub, and then for sure be up to hopefully full tilt for the Arsenal match at the end of the month, Bucks. So maybe that's will be the silver lining here. But yeah, I've read so many dumb reports like the Argentinian Football Association apparently thought they had it worked out with the Brazilian government, but then the Ministry of Health just went straight up like military on it and try to just put in their own rules and then talk to their side of the Brazilian government. It just sounded like an absolute mess. And this is what you get, man. I don't know.
Seems like Brazil is quite butthurt over losing that Copa America final.
That's what it sounds like to me. That's the other thing. Brazil hosted the fucking Copa like a month ago. Now they have issues with people coming in from England. So Whatever, man. Honestly, Bucks, I thought gamesmanship. They're like, oh shit, we don't have a full squad. Argentina might put this on us. Although it looks like from the table when I was reading that, both teams are going to go to the World Cup too. That's the other part of it. It's like we could have probably delayed this or figured else something out, but whatever.
No delays. We had a set date and time, and then
Yeah.
5 minutes in to
I'll
rush
be
onto the
damned.
pitch and cause
Yeah.
complete chaos. I don't know.
Don't blame the players, guys. So many other things to blame.
I'm not
That's all I
blaming the
got.
players. We not only have essentially exiled humans in Croatia that are awaiting a quarantine that satisfies whatever jurisdiction or rulings they have going on in England to get back into the country to play for your professional club, the club that pays your bills and pays you a very, very high salary, and the club that plays 38 games a year. There's a pretty serious notion to say, we can just discount a game or two. It's no big deal. With Chelsea looming large, that's going to be something. But not only do we have 3 Pirates that play for Spurs, we also have 4 injuries picked up in the last couple of days. We'll start with Heung-min Son. Got a bit of a calf pull. A pulled calf is what I've read. It sounds like he just had a bad cramp on the pitch, kind of like how sometimes you and I will pull our calves as we sleep, as sleeping is the most athletic thing that we do in our daily lives.
For sure. Although I do get the mail like every 3 days, Bucks.
That's good. I mean,
Yeah.
You don't mow your lawn. I know that.
For sure not.
I like that it's not a daily occurrence to check the mail. You take your trash out, or do you got a guy?
The guy quit, so now I do have to take my trash out.
Yeah.
Although I did find a guy that cleans garbage cans. That's huge. He uses like this bleach concoction, comes in every like 5 months or so.
I got a tip for you here, Shakes.
Yeah.
Get a scrub brush.
Whoa. Don't even start with this and open it and like go in there and start washing it.
You get some bleach.
No thanks.
You get a spray nozzle on your hose.
Rather deal with
which means you would have to
bucks.
Unravel your hose, Shakes. So that would be difficult for you. And then actually physically move the hose to the location of the can. And then you can combine said water with said bleach and use said scrub brush. That was tough for me right there.
Mm-hmm.
That was tough. The allergies, they're still there, folks. Coming off an illness and allergies.
So's the COVID.
It's not COVID. I was tested on Friday.
Me. No, I know you're not. No, you're not.
I know you know I'm not. But Heung-min Son, this would be pretty disastrous for where Spurs currently stand. I'm hoping he'll be present for Saturday's match. Otherwise, we're just looking extremely thin on that front line.
Yeah, I can't wait till we have to disclose our lineups to each other. There are going to be some wacky lineups out there. You just got to survive this game. Get it to the 60th minute, Bucks, 0-0. Then hopefully you can bring in a Son or a Kane. Because Kane, he's got Poland tomorrow. When this probably drops, it'll be day of, and you wish like the way that lineup of games went for England, the less intensive game would have been midweek before the Prem started back up for him, but didn't work out that way. So big matchup, England versus Poland, top of the table. England's still ahead, and they got I think a few points on them. So shouldn't really mean that Kane has to play the entire match, but knowing Gary, I think he's going to play Kane full 90.
Oh, he's going to play full 90 tomorrow, and then he'll be asked to play full 90 at 7:30 a.m., 12:30 local time on Saturday.
I don't think so. I don't have him starting. He's not my starting 11. He's coming off the bench, though. He's coming off the bench.
Do you have Son in there?
I do not. It is. Wait till you hear this lineup. It's basically, let's get it 0-0, 65th minute, figure it out from there. And everyone just needs to accept that. It sucks that Spurs didn't bring in 7 extra players to deal with the exile of our South American players, as well as 4 injuries that happened international. But yeah, I'm a little upset we didn't bring in like a striker or maybe one other midfielder. But let's not really harp on. I'm gonna actually come to Levy, Hitch, and the Rats' defenses here. They didn't probably foresee 7 players being out.
I don't think they did. They didn't have that foresight. But funny enough, I mean, we'll get into the other 3 players here And the most concerning of which is Oliver Skip with a groin injury, which can take forever to heal. I'm a survivor of a pulled groin,
I
and
lit
that
so many
was
candles for you, Bucks.
yeah, that was tough, man. That was during my prime flag football days at University of Florida. Well, it was off season, but everybody was hoping and dreaming I'd be back out in the field come the next season, come next August. So
I'm in the camp though. You got to give him rest on that. Let's not rush him back. He's young and he's too important. Plus, we have a Viking that he pairs with. So, that guy played not a full 90. I think he played 80, 83 minutes today, Bucks, in his international duty for Denmark. But I think Hoy Bear for sure gets the start. Also, it's a bigger deal. He played, I think, Tuesday, whereas Kane's going to play a full 90 probably on Wednesday. So I do have Hoy Bear starting in my lineup, just not Kane.
if Skip goes out, man, if Skip is out for an extended month or two, oh boy.
Let's not get there. I don't want to go down that dark path yet.
Let's just hope it's nothing serious. Shoot him up, do whatever you got to do. We need Skip on the pitch on Saturday morning. We got Steve wrapped in ice. I think this is the most mild. You think it's just a precautionary measure, maybe just getting him a little cooled down after the match.
Let's hope.
Bolton like he played a very good match with Netherlands today.
Netherlands crushed whoever they played. They were part of a parlay for me. Thanks, Netherlands.
You're getting pretty wild on these parlays.
It's getting rough. That is the one silver lining to jamming in this World Cup qualifying session, Bucks, is I feel like not a day goes by where I have some sort of 3-team parlay across multiple continents, and that's fun. That's fun.
Does that keep the blood pumping for you?
A little bit, especially when it's midday, and you're like, shit, do I have any gambling out there? And it's like, yes, I do. It's 3 p.m. Eastern time, New York time. Great. I do.
And here's this game in Russia. And here's this game.
Actually, I had Russia with Denmark.
I knew you would have Russia.
In France. It all worked. It's nice to cruise on a parlay every once in a while, Bucks. They all won comfortably.
Can I call you Intercontinental Dan?
You may. Worldwide Dan.
I can't give you Mr. Worldwide Dan yet. Not quite yet. You got to work on the cool factor. No dad hat tonight, though, so you're
just get my hairline. Deal with
vastly improved. No, the hairline is a problem for both of us. That's why I choose to wear a hat. The high Nunos that you can't taste.
Yeah, no, I can't taste it all. COVID really put it on me.
Steve, I think he's okay, but it's always concerning to see somebody double wrapped. But maybe double wrap means we're just, you know what? You played a great game here, Steve. You had an assist. Still no goals. Okay. And then Sessegnon took a training knock in the U21. So 2 Spurs players getting injured for U21s. Skip and Sessegnon, Son out, Steve out. Real quick, I'm not going to get doom and gloom, but when things are just looking like we might start this season out with a glowing 12 points over 4 matches, hopefully going into Crystal Palace with a pretty well-rested squad for the most part. Turns out it's not that case at all. Turns out that as soon as we get some sort of light at the end of the tunnel just closes shut on us.
That's still kind of doom and gloom. I actually think I mean, I was thinking about this, Bucks. It's like, would you rather play Chelsea first coming out, or I should say just a team that has a lot more international players? So I guess it feels more even when half their team also played 72 hours or less ago. I don't know. I mean, Crystal Palace will have most of their guys rested. With that said, they're Crystal Palace. Like, they have a -3 goal differential. I think they've scored 2 goals all year. Not that Spurs have scored, they scored 1 more. But, Spurs still have depth. There still are good players on the team. And I just think it's a game where you just got to survive it. And like I said, just keep it defensively packed and then just try to figure something out in the last 30 minutes.
That's going to be easier said than done.
I think our boy Nuno can do it.
I have faith in Nuno. Do it. Well, he dares. He does. It's all he thinks about all the time, according to the man himself.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. It's hard for me to. I understand the depth factor, but we're razor thin then starting the players that will start. considering so many unknowns that we have currently upon us. So it will be difficult for us to get out of this match with 3 points. And part of the reason there is we built on that continuity through the first 3 matches. I know Kane got put in there for the third. But just when you start to think you're building something, you have to build something else. And that's going to be the issue here for me.
No, I hear you, buddy. But when we get into lineups, I think I'm going to sell you on our lineup. I think good things can happen. I'm not saying I get it. The continuity will not be there for sure. Don't expect 3 goals from the squad. But I think things can get done with a combo of maybe a Deli and a Reggie. Get Lucas or Heel up there. We'll see.
Oh, the Hillster.
Hill Daddy Flex.
All right, so let's get into that then. Obviously, the 3 Pirates will not be playing for us.
Do you have anything to add to the Brazilian government now accepting applications?
No, nothing to add there. I'm astonished that this was able to happen. How in 2021, and you hit the nail on the head with social media, you know where these people are. You see them playing on the weekends. You know they're being so strictly monitored when it comes to the COVID protocols. How in the hell is this even something that's real?
It's like, were you in England the last 14 days? No. They could have said no. They could have said the last time I was in England was 30 years ago. It wouldn't have mattered on these documents. Like, everyone knew where they were. Yeah. That's the part, Bucks, that pisses me off. Like, well, what if they said this? It's like, it doesn't matter. Everyone knows where they were.
It's unfathomable. I don't know how this is even a possibility. All right, Crystal Palace, Sunday, early morning here in the States, which I love. I love a nice first thing in the morning. I can't think about it. I shower, and then it's just time to sit down and take it all in, pace back and forth relentlessly for a matter of 2 hours.
What day do you think it is?
Saturday.
All right. I thought you said Sunday at first.
Oh, did I say Sunday?
You might have, because we're so used to Sundays, but that's what I was going to say to you is like, we got some Saturday early ball for Spurs. Fired up for that. Remember we used to play on Saturday all the time, Bucks?
I love the Saturday games. Just because, all right, at this stage, I think I've talked about this in the past. I used to love the Florida Gators before any other football team in terms of American football. I still love them. I will watch every game with so much interest. But in terms of like pulling on my heartstrings, it's the Buffalo Bills. So when it's a Sunday back-to-back Spurs Bills, it's overload for me. So I love it when Spurs are Saturday, Bills are Sunday. Let's get it on.
Yeah, but you're in a great mood on some Sundays when both teams pull it out.
It's very true.
I mean, that's the time to hang out with you at patio on Sundays.
Folks know.
Shit.
I just turn into a different animal by that point.
For sure. You got me there betting horses. Anyway.
Let's get into Crystal Palace here. What's your 11?
Get ready, Bucks. We're going back 3. We're going 3-5-2. Really, though, it probably looks like a 3-1-4-2. In the back, Davis on the left side, Dyer in the middle, Tanganga on the right. That's the back 3. Right above them, holding midfielder Harry Winks. Basically, he's going to sit right in front of the 3 at the back. And
repeat that back.
I got Davis on the left, Dyer in the middle, Tanganga on the right, Harry Winks in front of them. Okay?
All right.
On the left side, Reggie. On the right side, our new signee, Emerson Royal. In the middle, Deli and Hoge. And then up front, Heel and Lucas. Spurs are going to play a 3-5-2. You'll have Deli venturing forward, so it would look more like a 3-4-3 if Winks came in to plug that gap that Deli moved forward to vacate. And that's what Spurs will look like on the more offensive side. Defensively, though, that's where you have Winks sitting right in front of the back 3. You have Højbjerg in there for support. I just think he's playing as well, even though he played just today for Denmark. And Deli, Reggie, Emerson, Lucas, and Heel. Something will happen between those guys. Believe.
So you bring in Royale off the street.
Or Barcelona.
Well, he only played in one match for Barcelona.
Like
Well, I
3.
think he played in all 3, but he started one. So you bring him in. He's used to playing 4 at the back, and you say, "Good luck. Here's a Premier League match in a derby against Crystal Palace. Good luck playing as a wingback."
Well, do you want him or Doherty? Because actually, that was the 2 I was between. Because if it's a 3-4-3 or 3-5-2, you could maybe trust playing Doherty a little bit more.
I'd say give me Royale.
Okay, there you go. Emerson it is. That was actually the one change I struggled with.
I'm big. You got to quit calling him Emerson, by the way.
Why?
He wants to go by Royal or
All
Royale.
right, then Royal it is. I'm in. Just score goals and set up goals.
All right. If that is what it is, that's a lot different from mine.
I just think, by the way, off the bench,
It's
Harry
the same
Kane,
players. It's the
possibly
same players.
Son or Steve, but go for it.
I got Kane up top. I'm sorry, dude. If we don't have Son, then it has to be Kane. If we do have Son, it'll be Son in his place there. I got the Gildaddy Flex on the left-hand side, Lucas on the right, Deli, Højbjerg, Winks, Reggie, Dyer, Tanganga, Royal, and Hugo, of course. It's a 4-3-3.
I like mine more. I like the 3-5-2 Bucks.
Here's my caveat to this. Is Tanguy and Ndombele ready to go yet? Because if he is, slot him in for Winks.
I don't think so.
Yep.
I think just with the training, like him just getting back to training and not even like featuring as a substitute, he's just not going to come in and start over Winks. Winks actually didn't play bad the last Papa John's Europa Conference League game. So I'm in on Harry Winks going against Crystal Palace. I'd be shitting my pants if it was, like you do against Chelsea, if it was against Chelsea. So I think I'm fine with it being a back 3 with Winks right above as the holding, and then just figure out the front 6. And Deli, I mean, if you want to call it a 3-4-3 and you have Deli more on the left side and you shade Heel more towards the middle because he's played more in the middle, I still think Lucas just got to be out to the right and be a pest that way, Lucas style. Maybe you'll see Deli plug the gap on the left side a little bit more forward, or just come right behind Heel and Lucas.
It sounds like you've thought this out.
I really have.
All right. I would rather go with yours.
Thank you.
Just to see something different and just to get a little bit of a variation. I think that would be an advantage against a team like Palace. They will be extremely well rested. Spurs clearly are distraught. It took no time for me to hit distraught levels, by the way. I'm here now.
Top of the table, haven't allowed a goal yet.
All right,
distraught.
So what's your final score?
You know what this would probably remind some folks of is Gary Southgate's lineup for England when he would play a back 3 and throw Declan Rice right above them. Not the same players, of course, but that's what I think is going to happen with Davis, Dyer, Tanganga, and then Winks right above them.
I would rather have Højbjerg there than Winks.
No, I think I'd rather have Winks with Højbjerg. Showed me stuff, man. I don't know about you, but you don't think Højbjerg can do shit going forward more?
I do, but I think he does the back shit even better than the front shit.
Yeah, but Winks is better though in the back than Winks is replacing Højbjerg and being up forward more. You're not depending on Winks to do a forward pass. You need Winks to basically cover the back 3 and then just kick to the left to Reggie or kick to the right to Emerson or kick a 10-yard pass in front of him to Deli or Hoj. That's what you need Winks to do. Let's not ask Winks to make driving runs or diagonal passes and all that shit.
I like this one for me in here. When Emerson scores, do we call it a Royale with cheese?
Absolutely, we do.
Yeah. I mean, it's self-explanatory. I like cheese. I like cheddar. I like goals. I like to keep lasting. Royale with
Pulp
cheese.
Fiction.
You know what? Controversial take.
Oh, here we go. I think we ranked our best Quentin Tarantino movies before.
Pulp doesn't get it done for me the way that others do. And it's a fantastic film, but there's just better. There's better films.
All right. Pulp or Once Upon a Time in Mexico?
You mean Hollywood?
Or Hollywood, sorry.
Oh, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, easy.
So yeah,
that is my favorite movie the last 6 years.
What about Django?
I'll take Django.
Man, so you just hate Pulp.
It's not that I hate it. I think both those, I think Inglourious Bastards is better.
What's the movie I'm thinking about where they did go to Mexico? It's the vampire movie.
He has
That
a
one.
he has a vampire movie?
You haven't seen that one with like Clooney? He's
He
like
d
in it. Tarantino's like actually an actor in it.
he's not in that movie.
Yes, he is.
He didn't direct that
He
movie.
he dies in it.
He's never done a George Clooney film.
Oh my god! Now I gotta look this up. This is great potting.
I would say Django's super strong. Inglourious Bastards is up there, but there's something about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I just love the performances by both Brad Pitt and Leo. I think all the actors that are involved in that are fantastic. Al Pacino's scene, he's great, man.
From
The
Dusk
whole
Till Dawn. Written by, screenplay by Quentin Tarantino.
yeah. What about director?
Robert Rodriguez.
Well, there you go. It's Robbie Rod, who is more in that horror genre. They're big time collaborators.
You're trying to get off on a technicality right now. You're not putting that in the Tarantino column.
No, because I'm
is
talking about
bullshit.
directors. I'm talking about if you directed the film.
This
From
is like
Dust
you
Till
being like,
you could
no,
write.
not a midfielder, defensive midfielder. See, defensive midfielder. Yeah.
No, Shakes, you don't understand what it is to be the
False
man
nine.
behind the
False
camera.
nine. Not a
The
nine. False nine.
man. You're gonna keep interrupting me. The man behind the camera is the man with the vision, and Robert Rodriguez took whatever was on paper and turned it into his vision. That's different than taking the very things that you either write or interpret and then turn that into your vision from an actual perspective of the camera. I'm big on tourism here, bud. Okay.
Have you seen this movie?
From Dusk Till Dawn, no.
Okay, you need to look at it.
Sounds good. I will watch it knowing he's so involved.
I ruined the movie for you because it doesn't start out at all. Like you don't know and it's not, I can't remember if it's vampire or whatever it is, but you don't know it goes that way. I think it is vampires.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I like vampires.
It's just the movie, just whatever, just watch it.
We have
keep
one
ruining
that
it more.
works for Spurs, Steve Hitchin. He's a vampire.
He's a vampire.
Yeah.
You got vampires in your complex.
He's geeked up on that blood. What is your final score here, Danny?
1-0 Spurs. We take it to the 70th minute, bring in reinforcements, Harry Kane with the winner in the 81st minute. Book it.
I got a 1-1 draw here.
Wow. Who scores for them? Zaha?
I don't know. I don't care. Who scores for us? Go Delhi.
Love it.
Oh, I'm not looking forward to Saturday. All this turmoil. I just want to see us have a collected approach, play with that very, very real strength that we've shown throughout the first 3 matches, plus the one qualifying match that we had under Nuno. If we come out with that pure power on the defensive end, I think we'll be okay. It's just, I like your vision for this better than mine, but I'm trying to be real with my expectations so that when we win 1-0, I go absolutely mental.
No, that's a good way to look at it. I mean, trust me, there's definitely the probably far more realistic situation unfolding, which is me really excited about like how we're going to piece this together, figure it all out from Nuno's perspective with the players that we have. And then at the 15-minute mark, realize it's just so disjointed looking that it's just going to be an absolute failure. So that's probably what I'm more in line for, Bucks. So let's hope that doesn't happen.
You just don't know what's going to happen with Tottenham Hotspur, and that's what keeps bringing us back.
It's 2 of our players detained by the Brazilian government. So Spursy.
Did they have dinner in Brazil? The wrath, throw it upon them.
They didn't tip. Someone arrest them.
All right, so we have a lot of unknowns in our world right now, Spurs fans, but there are 3 known qualities that we have moving forward. We'll be visiting 3 pristine European cities, and we start our journey in Rouen, France, aka
Rennes. It's Rennes. I just did the listen thing on Wikipedia.
How did you listen without me being able to hear it?
Because I've learned, because you've yelled at me so many times by blaring my Outlook and other things, to actually put it through on my earphones. Yeah.
Nate, you had to get it in here, pal. Spurs have more players deported from Brazil than Arsenal have Premier League goals.
That could stand for a while. Well,
We made it 35 minutes without mentioning that club.
actually,
Which
I felt
after
like our Arsenal content was the hottest part of the pod last week, Bucks.
folks were buzzing over it. Like, that was a new side of you. Yes, it was. Except it's deeply seated within me.
I still stand by what I said. Them getting relegated, they can earn the North London derby back.
All right, so we're going to take a tour of these cities. We start with Rouen. Let's go ahead and
Rena.
You're still saying it wrong, even if you were saying it correctly.
Well, did you know its history, Bucks, goes back more than 2,000 years? No, maybe. It's a population of about 750,000 people.
70,000.
750.
750. This is a big ass city.
Yeah, it's not tiny.
All right, let's take a look.
Well, maybe I'm wrong now. No, that's right.
Now, Shakes, I thought I had read 200,000.
Are you reading the metro area?
Well, I like to focus on the actual municipality.
You're going municipality on me. All right,
Yeah.
fine. I'll meet you at that.
Well, I want to start here. I love the look of this city from the air.
Why is that?
Well, number one, Shakes, you have a great outer band that surrounds it with these highway networks here. The key to any crucial city planning is to have a nice outer boundary. They call it a loop, believe it or not. And now when I look at this place, I see a whole lot of helter-skelter right here in the middle. Let's start here. I got to point out a couple of pieces here that stand out. You have this varying canal network that goes forth here within Rouen. Very sophisticated. Look at that. Now, they have cropped all the sides. So it's natural, yet it breathes this sense of being made by man. It's the congruence of nature with humanity. And I like to see that. It makes me happy. But this cathedral, the Cathedral Saint-Pierre de Rouen. Now, when I get into this fella here, how do I get my little guy? There's my little guy. Let's take a look at this cathedral here, Shakes. Don't you think this is a good starting point for our listeners?
A lot of cathedrals in France, Bucks.
Tons, and they're beautiful. Look at this fella. How you feeling about this one, Danny?
It's like a mini version of Notre Dame in Paris, or Par, as you call it.
That's Paris. Paris.
Have you seen Midnight in Paris, that movie?
I have. It's kind of wacky.
I liked it.
I did too.
That was good.
A little Wes Anderson-y.
Owen Wilson. I think it was Woody Allen.
Now, I love the cobblestones. When I look at this, I feel like, man, I could get a sweet beignet or a baguette right now. You know?
Well, it's an old-ass town, Bucks.
It is an old-ass town.
Got
beautiful.
Medieval and classical heritage in the historic center.
I will say this, though. Upon perusing various nightlife establishments, which was my primary function here, I didn't find much that really suited my eye aside from Bar Tiffany on the east side of town. It was a sweet pub. But I got to say this. The folks of Rouen better be flocking here in masses on Thursday. All right? They need to be in there praying. And if they pray hard enough, maybe they got a chance. Let's go peep this stadium here, Danny.
Well, while you're doing that, Bucks, just so you know, with the bar comment, there are over 60,000 students in this city. It is one of the larger university cities in France. So there are quite a amount of watering holes probably to get your drink on and also then rage at a soccer match.
I will say it's very disjointed. They had like some semblance of a Spanish style with all these quad boxes here, these nice blocks they have. But then they start to lose it as you go throughout this city. I mean, it's just roads going each way. It's just all over the place, Danny.
Yeah. Also, because of the university setting, it's become a very big ITC tech firm area. Second most outside Paris, Bucks. Google even has an office there. Did you know that?
What is ITC tech compared to just tech?
I don't know, just as ITC firms. I'm listing them all. Probably International Technology Corporation. I don't know.
Fair.
Companies.
I don't know what that is. But yeah, there seems
Information.
to be, I
Sorry.
feel like there's bad traffic here.
Well, there will be when Spurs are in town. Everyone wants to go to the match.
I just don't see many opportunities for central arteries here, which is one of the main things I look at. Folks, if you don't know, I'm a huge city planning nerd, and I don't work in that. It's simply a passion of mine. But I do judge European towns by the presence of McDonald's. So we will be looking at the McDonald's numbers for each of these cities as we go. And let's get to the Stade. Right on the river here, Danny. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
You got a shopping mall just to the south, some pristine football pitches right here. Again, Riverside, beautiful, breathtaking even. Looks like a cool stadium. Let's dive in here. I can already tell y'all Danny Shakes hates this. But
no, I'm staring through it. I'm trying to. It didn't seem like a lot of parking there.
Yeah, we got to take a look at the parking infrastructure.
I mean, if everyone's mass transit, I guess it doesn't matter as much.
It seems like a modern stadium that was redone recently. I haven't done any research on the stadium, but I like the look of that. Kind of reminds me of the way they built that South Stand for us, just on a very miniature scale. Looks like a very nice place.
What's the bar scene across the street? Go up there a little bit to the left.
That's what we got to look at.
Oh, there's one right there.
Yeah, Brasserie right there.
Boom.
Brasserie is a casual eatery and drinkery in France. It looks okay. Let's see what we got here. Chez Marco. That means
4.3.
The house of Marco. Oh no, Maison is house. What is Chez? Chef Marco? I don't fucking know. All right, so it opens at 7 a.m. Remarkable. Probably get sloshed in there at 7 prior to the Spurs games. That looks to be the only bar I can pinpoint here. I just saw a sign for McDonald's in 2 minutes. We know we're home. We're always home.
Look at that cell tower.
Oh, we got a bar. I saw a Heineken. The Valet Pizzeria. Okay. I don't know how I feel about you. Let's take a look at your feed. You think they got anything good in here, Shakes?
Probably not.
Well, it didn't give me much there. So, yeah, they serve Heineken for those of you making the trip over there. Those look like the only two bars. Let's pop back out. Let's take a look at parking. Oh, they got a couple of lots here, Shakes.
Just a couple lots. There's P2. So I guess P1's on the left.
P1. Actually, these are very small parking lots.
Yeah.
These hold like 100
That's for
cars.
like players and personnel.
Where the hell these people park, Shakes?
I don't know, Buck. Is there a big underground system in this area?
I doubt it. You're right by the river basin. That's dangerous.
Could be some catacombs.
So any other observations about Raw?
I'd go there. That's my observation.
Oh, I would go.
I'd partied up with the college kids.
I do like this park here in the middle of town. Very quaint. Very minimal walking trails. I like this little, they call that a cirque. That's nice. More chapels throughout the city. Honestly, it looks like a nice place. Not enough green area for me. Seems very, I wouldn't say industrial at all. Not in the center of town. Not compared to, say, like Liverpool or Manchester or anything like that. But that's not a slight. It's just an observation from the sky. But it just seems like they could use a little more green areas. Some nice parks for the people. What are your thoughts on that, Shakes?
More green space, the better for me, Buck. With that said, I think if you focus on city center, yeah, it's always going to be just a lot more dense. If you go north, there's a lot of parks over that way, as well as to the west, but kind of depends what you're looking for, I suppose.
Okay. All right. All right. You ready to head to Arnhem?
Arnhem. Yes.
Arnhem. Excusez-moi.
Arnhem. You're okay. Did
Okay. This looks
urban area,
complicated.
150,000. Metro area, 360,000. It's not a tiny town.
So where
It
is
was
this?
actually
Eastern
pretty.
Netherlands.
Now, Bucks, have you ever seen the movie A Bridge Too Far? 1977 flick.
I've not.
There's a bridge that is in this city that it's based off of. It was a World War II site. Bridge kept getting blown up.
Was it this John Frost Bridge?
I don't know if that's the one. It's been rebuilt a few times.
I mean,
yes, it
they
is.
have this.
It was
they have
renamed
this-
the John Frost Bridge after the commander of the paratroopers. So, yes.
So this is their crucial artery that just kept getting blown up.
Yep. British
Oh.
1st Airborne Division went in there to try to take it over. Then they lost it to the Germans and then got it back. That's the history I got for you on that.
All right, just off observations here. What the hell is going on with these traffic patterns?
Well, you got to understand, man, some of these cities are old. They maybe even before traffic lights existed.
Listen, I've been to London plenty of times. It's an absolute mess, but it's
Also a city
beautiful
founded
because
with
they
four
have
vehicles.
great underground. But this is wild. I mean, these separation points, like this whole downtown, I'm assuming this is the downtown area. It looks like the most central and also the most congested in terms of infrastructure. So this seems like it's totally locked up by the train. Here's the train. You can see that coming through right there. This looks like a mess, Shakes. Then you got the industrial down here very clearly. But I will give them a little bit of credit from what I've seen. Look at this green space up here, Shakes. This looks beautiful. This is where I'd like to meet my next ex-wife. Oh, yeah. Big fan of the green space here in Arnhem.
You're a green space guy is what I'm determining here, Bucks. I don't think it's that busy looking, because you have to understand this city's not huge. Yeah, I know it's not wheel and spoke. I know it's not straight up grid, so it's not perfect that way. But I think if you drill down like right into the middle historic section, kind of right north of the John Frost Bridge, it's not entirely unnavigable.
What?
You can navigate it.
I mean, on foot, this seems extremely compact. Let's get a look at these. Let me get rid of the John Frost Bridge. Let me see if I can get my little guy. I lost my guy. I hate how Google does that to you sometimes. I'd like to get a look at this city, but it seems like there's a lot going on down here.
Yeah, but then in that section, that's like 8 blocks. It's not.
This is more than 8 blocks. No, it looks about like 8 blocks.
I like how it's hugged around by the green space too, though.
Oh, you see that?
Just
You see
like, yeah,
this?
borders around it, like elbows it around.
Big fan. It's so funny, Danny. You once laughed at me for loving the structure of a city in Australia called Adelaide, where they are surrounded by green space on every bit of their downtown section. And now all of a sudden, you're looking at it as a point of pride for the fine people of Arnhem, who we must destroy on the football pitch. They have a Burger King. I'm sure there's a McDonald's in there. I like it. I like it. I like the green space here on the wide edge. I like this massive park system they have just to the north side of town. Looks great. And then when you get towards the stadium, so you're going to want to cross the John Frost Bridge or John Frost Bruges, you head down here, and here's the Helredome, which quite honestly is the ugliest looking dome I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, look at that. It's like 2 sideways silos.
Looks like a barn or a harvest
I assume that's their practice pitch right below it too.
Yeah. Now, parking, not a concern for the fine folks of
No.
Arnhem. The Howard Dome is doing great parking business by their people. Looks like a newer structure.
I was going to say, definitely built later outside the city.
Up there's McDonald's. Told you it'd be there. We are everywhere, folks. You cannot escape us. We are coming for your guts.
Looks like access from the interstate. That looks good right there.
It does. I mean, it looks like this is a nice spot for the old stadium here.
Yeah, there was some plan. You could tell. Yeah, the stadium was definitely built a little bit later. If you go south, though, there's still a little bit of whole mess there. That Delar West area.
I think it all looks like extremely nice. I was noticing.
Yeah. I'd raise my family here. Definitely.
I was noticing Malbergen. Look at the structure here. It's wild to see just all these plans that went into place in some of these European cities for the World War II, post World War II rebuild here.
That might be part of the rebuild.
Well,
looking at that,
it's so crazy because you look at, say, Liverpool, you see a lot of this similar type of structure from the sky. I mean, this is the only perspective I have on it, but it really is cool because you look at these little plots. There's a big ass little backyard for that flat, And they have their gardens. I'm a big fan of Arnhem. I would like to go there.
I'd visit. Raise a family
low key.
There's a zoo to the north I can take my kids to. I like it.
That's fantastic, Shakes. Way to go.
I like how 2 minutes of city, right?
Yeah. All right, now we're gonna get into. I gotta refocus this. Hold on. I gotta do google.com/maps. We gotta go to my favorite one of the entire threesome that we have here. We're going to Murska Sobota, which the locals will call it Sobota, and many folks call the region Murska. However, I got to tell you, this town, it looks like something. It really looks like something. Let me share my screen. Sorry, I lost my little guy, and the little guy is important for this one. Not that yours weren't, Shakes.
Understood. 11,000 people live there, Bucks.
Yeah, it's a small town. Let's be realistic here. Let's get a little perspective on where.
Where's their airport? Where do Spurs fly into? They fly into Zagreb and take a bus?
Oh, that's a great question. Would they cross multiple borders? I don't think they would. I would imagine that the airport would be here in Maribor. Maribor looks interesting. Kind of looks like Baltimore from this harbor right here.
I'm just going to type in Murska Airport.
I'm sure they have some form of airport. Maybe not, though. If it's 11,000, no shot.
Airport Murska Sobota. Let's see here.
It's got to be just a bunch of small jet planes.
I don't even think it's in Slovenia. I think it's on the other side. No, here it is. Oh, my God. It's like one strip.
Yep. That's all Spurs need. Unless it's Steve, then he'll miss it. I'm just kidding, Steve. Love you.
Steve doesn't land planes.
I will start here. Looks like some great highlands just to the northeast of Murska Sobota. I bet these towns up here, Shakes. Oh, I bet these towns are just gorgeous.
Yeah, like in the foothills. Because if you go just a little bit more west and a little more north, right, then you're in the Alps again.
I mean, these don't just look like foothills, right? Like this looks like you're pretty far up there. So obviously, I think there's some nice vistas, especially from the stadium, considering where it is. So let's dive in. First off, you have some beautiful farmland. Look at all this farmland surrounding Sobota.
Super green.
I dig it. And despite its small size, it actually looks extremely compact. Well, shouldn't say despite it. With its small size, it is extremely compact, but there's a few cool things that I saw here. There's different little pockets of population just on the outskirts of town here, northwest and southeast. And then when I get into Murska, let's just take a look around here. We'll start with the stadium, which is one of my favorite parts. There's just a dirt road that is the only access point to this stadium. Small stadium, legitimately the most northern point of the populace is their stadium. Right up here. Cool park if you haven't seen it before. Let me pull that up. I mean, it's a cool little pitch, Shakes. How do you feel about this bad boy?
How
The
many
pitch,
does it seat?
I want to say like 9 or 10,000.
Like the entire city?
Basically
The city's
everyone in
11,000.
town. Yes.
Everyone, so the town is just shut down.
And extended relatives. But nice pool facilities, as you can clearly see to the right-hand side.
I know. Look at the pool. You know what this reminds me of? The overhead of my country club, Bucks, with the pool there and all the green.
And the 5,000 seat covered stadium for the youth soccer.
There's no golf course to the north, but maybe there is. But
it's a cool looking little park here.
There's no way it seats more than 6,000.
So I want to take this
way.
trip. I want to take this trip. So if I drop my guy. So this is looking towards the town. You just have a 2-lane road that you follow until it ends and you're at their stadium.
Do you think it's like a cool like drinking walk everyone does?
Of course it is. And then you're there.
It's probably fun.
I am enthralled with this setup. Like, look at this parking situation. You're just parking alongside of this 2-lane road in the woods. Welcome to Murska Sobota.
That's pretty absurd, actually.
It's a very nice stadium. Great pool, good practice pitch over there. Farmlands just there.
Actually, if you go due south from there, Bucks, across the city, that's when you then hit the airport. I don't know if you'll find it because it's very tiny.
Well, let's get into this. They've got a man-made lake, which looks pretty damn sweet. And anyone who wants to argue, I don't know for certain if it's man-made, but I'm pretty sure lakes don't just have straight lines along a road with squared edges. Most don't, but I'm sure there's always the exception to the rule.
We can call it a reservoir.
It could be that. It could be that. But they have a surfing club. They've got this sweet building, the Pavilion Expano. Look at this thing. That's pretty goddamn impressive. Looks like a nice place to get lunch right there. A couple of beers. Yeah, a couple of shots of vodka, whatever you want to do. Looks pretty damn sweet. But look at this. They got a beach. You see the beach action? Looks like some very hard shells. I'm a fan of this.
So if you're a supporter trying to get to this, I think the play is you fly into Zagreb and then you got to rent a car and get there. You could also fly into Salzburg, but that's a 4-hour drive. It's on the other side of the mountains.
What about Maribor?
Further.
All right, we got to get back in.
No, actually, that might be closest. They got a good airport.
This town seems nice, man. I like this town.
It almost seems made up if we didn't find it on Google Maps, Bucks.
Look at this sweet castle in the center of town. Nice park surrounding it.
Yeah,
now,
city park.
We can't just talk about the positives and the nice things that we see in these cities. We also have to mention the piece that stood out to me most as I did my deep dive into this northeastern Slovenian town. Everything seems fine. You're heading down the main avenue here. As you can clearly see, we're looking at the main avenue. And then you happen upon this. The Bunker Post-Apocalyptic Steampunk Bar. which you read and you simply say this has to be lost in translation. There simply cannot be a bunker post-apocalyptic steampunk bar, which is essentially, in my mind, emulating that of the Mad Max films. But Danny Shakes, the bunker post-apocalyptic steampunk bar is exactly that.
Oh, look at it.
What are we looking at here?
Is
Look
it
at
like
this.
it's like this artist guy? It's got to be like art related, where some guy just really expressed himself with whatever's going on there.
But they have a great outdoor patio at the
Oh yeah, that's
bunker.
nice.
Yeah, it
Yeah, I'd
looks
hang out
great.
there.
Looks like some pretty damn. I
Yeah.
mean, that's meat on bread.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's
Looks like a doner kebab right there. Looks pretty good.
mm-hmm.
Some chips. And then look at this place, Shakes.
Yeah, I'd definitely explore that.
I
Welcome,
would.
bikers. Is there a big biking scene in the foothills of Slovenia over there?
What are we looking at, Shakes? Is that like a wolf, man? Look at this thing. How is this a bar in Murska Sobota? There's more shit in this bar than any other bar I've ever
I think that's
seen.
like a chain bird cage behind it too.
Yeah, it's several of them. I mean, folks, if you're listening to this, I feel so bad for you. But we had an off week this week, and we're diving in on YouTube. Follow us at Talking Tottenham Pod. You have to see the bunker post-apocalyptic steampunk bar in Murska Sobota. It's breathtaking. I love this picture, Shakes. This is how I want to end it. Here's bunker steampunk bar. It actually says post-apocalyptic steampunk bar.
Just in case you were wondering.
And then you have this lovely old couple who are just enjoying their lunch. And the old lady has on like the Mad Max glasses when they're driving in the desert. It's too fucking good, man. So if you're a Tottenham supporter, you're hitting up Slovenia. I think it's let's look at the reviews on the bunker.
Got 4.7.
It's got a 4.7 with over 1,000 reviews in a 10,000 person town. If passing Murska Sobota or being there, you should visit Bunker. It's a super funky place. Interior is flicking amazing. Dope selection of beers from all over the world. Burgers are dope.
We gotta go, Bucks.
Oh shit! I
want to go.
I gotta get it. It's just
we were talking
too
about going
much.
to Budapest. Maybe we can just go from Budapest to there.
Ambient music is rock oriented, so that's awesome. Lacks good air conditioning in the summer, and heating could be better. It's post-apocalyptic, dude. You're not getting all the nice liberties you have in real life.
Yeah,
they say it on the door. Groff Semso. They say it on the door. This is post-apocalypse. You're lucky you're not drinking mother's milk, okay? All right, Danny, we got to stop this.
Yeah, we're done. That's the Papa John's Europa Conference League.
Yeah, we have a lot to look forward to. All right, Danny Shakes, let's go ahead and wrap up. You have a 1-0 victory with a wacky-ass lineup on Saturday morning. I have a 1-1 draw. I'd be happy with both results, but obviously I'm pumping for that victory. Danny Shakes, thank you so much for your patience during what I consider to be a segment that only I wanted to do. But we got to fill some time and also get some more exposure to the YouTube side of things. So thank you for putting up with that.
No, of course, Bucks. Thank you for your creativity, and you got us over the hour mark on a very slow news cycle day. Aside from, of course, Kuti, GLC getting arrested by the Brazilian government.
There were a few things in there that were unforeseen, and maybe usually I'm very rattled by things, but I was so focused on the bunker post-apocalyptic steampunk bar that I just had to get through that, I will be there one day. I can guarantee the fine folks of Sabata. I will be there at the bunker.
That
I'll
is
have a
quite the
burger.
challenge. Challenge. You will never be there in your life.
It is. Danny Shakes, sign the people off.
Let's go. Let's beat Crystal Palace. We're back from international break. And come on, you Spurs.
Coys, get it done. Beat Palace.